First of all, how did you guys get together?
We've all been gaming buddies for quite some time, played a lot of old school games together, and decided that we wanted to do something on our own, make our own game.
I thought we'd met on Adult Personals.
Shoot, we don't tell them.
We met on what?
Adult Personals.
What's it about?
Dystopia is a cyberpunk themed, high-action multiplayer mod that we're doing for Half-Life 2. We're aiming to have tense combat situations, bring on the whole bunch of things from cyberpunk, like cyberspace, big weapons, hacking, jacking in,
implants.
And
most of all, it's about team play. That's what it's all about. The design of Dystopia is to encourage team play as much as possible, and yeah, I think we've achieved that pretty well.
How did it come about?
Dystopia came about, originally it was a game that a friend of ours, or a few friends of ours were working on the Quake 3 engine, but never got off the ground. They got shelved. A little while later I saw the Half-Life 2 video that was shown in P3, that infamous video, and I remembered this game design and I thought the Cyberpunk Half-Life 2 engine, really good mix, so I revived the project, and yeah, basically we've just gone from there. We've picked up a lot of really talented artists, and a lot of people are into Cyberpunk, and and yeah, so you're freaking me out.
Come on, you had more to say yesterday.
Our main focus has been on building up environments where the team has to work together. So you've got the guys in cyberspace that are doing their hacking while their teammates in the real world have to be defending them.
Giving the illusion of non-linearity.
You're not on screen, you don't talk now.
Don't care. And what do you do?
All their levels are objective based. There's numerous phases that you have to go through. Small punks versus corps. So you've got a corporation security team that are trying to defend the corporation building against the punks that are coming in to bust shit up or doing whatever the objective states. It's really up to the mappers to set up what objectives that are available.
How does gameplay differ from anything else, you know?
Well, the really unique thing we've got going on with Dystopia is the dual level of gameplay, where you've got guys in cyberspace doing one thing, trying to complete objectives to allow their real-world teammates to progress through the level, like turning off sentry guns, opening up doors, shutting down security systems, all the while that they're standing there inert and very vulnerable in the real world. So their real-world guys have to stand around and defend against the enemy that will be trying to take out the hacker. And so that's the unique spin on it. Plus, we've got an implant system that allows the players to customise their roles, really set up, modify their loadouts to really reflect the role they want to play for the team.
Yeah, I really like mod database, and we should stop moving that camera.
I make maps. Alright, okay, let's talk about the maps then. What do you want me to say? Mapping process that you use.
Mapping process, well, we changed it a bit after the Valve meeting. We were just doing it the classic way of just building everything all at once, fully detailing areas before we even gameplay tested. We've changed it over to more of a Valve approach with orange and grey maps. It speeds things up because you can get into testing right away before you waste all this time detailing up areas that'll be deleted because they just don't work in areas.
And how did it come about? Like, what was the process of modelling cyberspace?
Modelling cyberspace was a long and arduous task, and I'm glad it's finished.
We had about 7 versions of cyberspace before we finally settled on the one that we've got. But,
a whole lot of acid.
Basically, yeah, there was a heap of different physics modules that we used until we found the astrophysics with the you know, different walls and all the relativity. And a term came out with the tube kit, which was more like a roller coaster, and that was for travelling in between the nodes of cyberspace, the parts that you have. And the inside of the rooms was just, we kind of based it off the Quake 1, Quake 3 deathmatch kind of rooms, because that's the kind of combat it is. It's really fast, very fast moving. So we tried to just make, you know, use the different levels, make it very simple geometric shapes, and just have lots of different basic Z-axes for fighting. So, you know, it's all about getting the high ground.
Which is, high ground's really a relative term in cyberspace, so it's really interesting.
Yeah.
So what about texture work?
We've basically shot for all original textures with Dystopia, so we don't look like every other mod that's out there.
Especially for cyberspace, Tim did a great job on those textures. We tried to play it up because we're using the DirectX 9 shaders to do a nice glowing bloom effect, much like you see in Tron. So we've used as many bright colours as we can, and use those to identify different parts of cyberspace. So one area is yellow, one's green, one's red, so you get some kind of orientation in all that upside downness. what we've done to promote team play in Dystopia is we've tried to, wherever possible, encourage team play without people consciously having to do it. For example, our medical healing plant, called the Medi Plant, to heal someone rather than a traditional FPS way of healing. You go up and you have to activate the heal button. All you have to do is stand next to them, so someone can put on the Medi Plant, which heals themselves a little bit, and unwittingly be helping their teammates by healing them. Other things we do is we have a wave spawning system, so that there's a queue. Everyone that dies goes into the spawn to come back. So if there might be 5 people die, you might have to wait 15 seconds or so, but you get 5 people come out at once, so you're automatically regrouping. A few things like this that we put in, and including the whole cyberspace meat space where you have to protect your decker while he's completing the objective. We've really tried to play up the team play.
We have 3 different augmentation levels, light, medium, heavy, and they basically decide how much health you've got, how much armor you've got, how quickly you can move, but also the amount of implant slots that are available. So your light class has a lot of implant slots. It gives him access to implants like the stealth effect, like the Medi Plants and so on, like the decking. He also has a high amount of energy, which makes him suitable for doing things that require a lot of implant use. Whereas the medium, sort of the middle ground, he's got access to most of the implants but not stealth, and the heavy is really just about the big weapons. He's got a very limited supply of implants you can have.
What about vehicles?
We did have vehicles in our first few builds with Dystopia. We have prototyped a lot of different vehicles. We've had cars, we've had hover bikes, we've had helicopters, hang gliders, you name it. We've prototyped a lot of different vehicles. But basically for our demo we've decided not to include them because we felt it was a bit too much to get that and the hardcore team play, first-person shooter kind of action going at the same time. What we find would happen was that some of our vehicles would be so much fun. Someone would get in a Jeep, they'd start driving the Jeep, and there's objectives. They forget about the objectives, they just keep driving. I'm in a Jeep, they keep driving around and around, they forget about their teammates, they forget about everything. So
Just turn it into a racing
for our demo build, we had to cut it out. We do have some plans to implement them into the final version, where they'll still play along with the team play, but yeah, we've still got to prototype a lot of that stuff at the moment, and it's just a bit out of scope to get that in the demo.
That is true.
I agree. Talk about the testing and the testing process and the testers that you've got, how they go.
But very early on, even before we still had all of our art assets in, we got the build up and running, so we weren't able to test and prototype out our gameplay. Very important, because until you actually see it in action, you don't really know how it's going to play out. So our testers we've had on from very early on, built up a core group of about 30 guys that jump in twice a week and play the hell out of Dystopia. And they've been fantastic. The things that they've been finding, the feedback that we've got from a broad range of players that have come from different gaming backgrounds, it's really been interesting. We've been able to make sure we get something for everybody in Dystopia.
And there's a good dichotomy between the type of freaking dichotomy.
Freaking big word for a little boy. So you recently visited Val. What was that like, the experience?
It was fantastic. They flew us over. I don't think they realised we were actually coming from Australia when they offered to pay for our plane tickets, but they got us over there for a week in their office, and we were able to do a lot of work there. We did 3 play tests across the week, and the feedback we got from them was absolutely invaluable. The tips they had on how to develop and the best way to just get through all the hassles of doing mods and jump over all the hurdles that you face, it was fantastic.
Word.
What was that?
I said word. Word, my man.
Alright, so, okay, you spent a week at Valve. You met the guys there, obviously. What was it like watching them work?
It's pretty incredible, actually. I don't think I really understood how quickly those guys work, how one they are with the tools. So you watch them work in Hammer, and they're not thinking about which buttons to press and which functions to use. They're just doing it. Like they think it and they make it just so quick.
We were watching them detailing an area, and they detailed part of a Half-Life 2 deathmatch map. And they were just knocking out so much detail, and it just looked perfect from the first go. And they could, do this in the 10 minutes we were watching them. Also, we watched their art team and watched the process they go through to create a character for Half-Life 2, starting at the silhouette process, so you could easily identify the distance, all the different kind of characters, and then down to the details of the clothing and what kind of personality that portrays and that sort of thing.
Birdie in the background.
Thank you.
The Melbourne question is, get all in close.
I love this call. It's damn cold.
Why are you at free play today?
So we can play Dystopia against noobs and kick their asses.
How did you get here?
What DP?
Because of what DP and 4.
What DP?
It's cold. It's very cold.
Right, okay, what about release date for Dystopia?
When it's done.
Is there anything else to add apart from
When
that?
it's done.
When it's done, yeah.
We don't know. We work on this in our spare time, so when it's done, you'll know about it.
Apart from him, because he works for the government.